The aim of this section is to improve duck dive techniques and etiquette. Look for small green sections amongst the white water to pierce through. Remember to make sure you don't paddle across somebody's path who is surfing the wave or paddling behind you. Make sure you are aggressive with the punch through so you have lots of forward thrust, otherwise a heavy wave could pull you over the falls. The timing is good with this duck dive. If he had started the duck dive too high up the wave face, he could have gone over the falls. Some board speed from paddling is good for momentum, but not essential, as you can create momentum from your body mass at the last second by submerging at an angle, turning as you do this, and then thrusting forward. This angled duck dive is a more advanced technique, but is useful when you're positioning to avoid people or repositioning to duck dive through a green section, or when you are too late to catch a wave. Time the duck dive so you go under the white water whilst the explosion is going skyward. This allows you a small window of opportunity to duck under. But if you time it wrong, all that white water is landing on you. Timing comes down to your wave knowledge, commitment, and fitness. The hardest duck dive waves are the ones with no green water gap to punch through. A big rolling mass of white water has lots of momentum towards the beach, so is harder to duck dive. But again, there will still be times when some white water is exploding up rather than down on your head. To submerge, shift your body weight over your arms. Use your arm strength to push the board downwards, but also push forward away from the wave so you are thrusting the board ahead of you. It's important to submerge, but also to thrust forward. If you are doing an angled duck dive, then you'll need to apply extra weight to the inside arm as you submerge to straighten up the board. This angled duck dive technique also helps submerge the board, as there is less surface area to push under the water, so this is particularly useful if you are duck diving a bigger or buoyant board. Your hands need to be on your rails next to your chest. You have to shift your body mass towards the nose so weight goes over your shoulders. Use your toes, shin or knee to stop the board's tail poking out. But also using your arm strength. If it's an easy duck dive wave, then there's no point in going super deep. Just a shin on the tail pad can be enough. But if it's a big rolling mass of white water, then everything gets more extreme. So more force from your arms is required and the use of your foot. I suggest you practice using all knees, toes and shins and combinations of all three. to see which you prefer. Don't leave your shin connected to the board for too long, as the shock of the wave can bend your leg the wrong way. Another way of submerging the board is to stand on it. You can use a leg as a counterweight to help you submerge deeper and also create some thrust forward. The white water drags you back more, but this is better than having the white water impact in the face. This counterweight is particularly useful if you are in a thick wetsuit or on a bigger board. With no wetsuit and a thin board, no counter leg weight is required. Reconnect your body to the board, keeping your elbows tucked onto the board to give you a safety buffer. This stops the board from hitting you on the nose if it's a powerful wave, and it makes it easier to keep hold of your board in turbulence. Sometimes you will get rolled. Try to hold on, as the board is buoyant, and when you pop up back to the surface, you can paddle straight away.
I am the custodian of the total perspective body.
Whilst underwater, a little kick of your feet and legs can help you get away from the wave's motion.
The vortex is ready for you now.
Duck diving in shallow water can result in scraping your knuckles or dinging your board. So sometimes you'll have to just duck dive into the trough of the white water, rather than under the white water. Or if it's too shallow, simply jump over the white water. Or the last resort is to bail your board and duck under the wave. If you're stuck in a hole, or there are too many waves to duck dive, then an alternative is to paddle parallel to the beach in the parallel rip, or get out and walk around. Ensure you don't paddle across someone's path. Knowledge of the lineup can save you energy. Poor duck dive technique leaves your tail sticking out. This can be dangerous to other surfers, as it can pop out and hit them. Be aware of other surfers duck diving behind you. Don't leave your tail poking out, particularly if you are on a longboard. Don't stop to look at someone surfing as you duck dive. Instead, concentrate on getting out of the way. Looking into barrels just before you duck dive can crumble the lip over and ruin the barrel ride. If there is somebody on the wave, head for white water, not across the wave face. When duck diving, make sure that the person in front is good at duck diving, otherwise they could get rolled back onto you, and vice versa. If you are not confident in your duck diving yet, then position yourself so nobody is behind you. Sliding off your board mid-duck dive is not ideal, as other surfers won't be aware that you're going to do this, so somebody paddling behind you or somebody on the wave could have a board popping towards them. Check for other surfers and keep control of your board. Bailing is sometimes the only option in big surf, particularly if you are on a bigger board or if you are not quite sufficient at duck diving more powerful whitewater. Position yourself so nobody is behind you, then slide off, relax, and duck under feet first.
Vortex is ready for you.
Get back on your board quickly by pulling your board to you. Use your leg to pull the leash. Stand up and then jump off feet first to get deeper. This takes a bit of energy, so the normal bail is still a good option too. Waves that have crumbled so there is some green water to push through are good for practicing. And also use a smaller board to practice technique. and flat water practice to build confidence and improve technique. Being able to do a duck dive is good for keeping your board under control so it doesn't affect other surfers. Your board is your flotation device for safety. There is less chance of snapping your board if you duck dive rather than bail, although a board can still snap during the duck dive. Regularly check your leash for nicks and also check your leash string is not too long, otherwise it will destroy your tail. The leash's rail saver must be on the rail. Thanks for watching. We hope you found it useful. Also check out our duck dive challenge video.